Well, hello peeps. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me okay because the wind is up a bit here. So we'll try it like this. Yes. It's actually a lovely day, but a little bit windy. Quite cold when you're out in it, but I'm happy with this. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, and in the next week, I think, I haven't got the exact dates, there's sort of a general strike happening. I can't remember the exact date, I saw it earlier. And I think it's a good thing, because I think the things that the farming community have been missing, the leadership of the farming, most of the striking business is being sorted out by the farmers' union in reality, behind the scenes. And there's lots of people who are doing a fantastic job lower down in the organisations, because they're little organisations all over the country, and then the heads basically decide what everything happens. Now, in my opinion, they've been missing a trick, and I said this since last year. The public are with us in our communities, and most of the public realise what the hell is going on here. They realise that it's an attack on them. And I just had a look at some information before that said 80% of the people that voted the last election, Labour won with a huge majority. I just looked at the actual data, and 80% of the population of the country did not vote for him. Yes, that is correct. 80% of the UK population did not vote for Labour. They either voted for other parties or didn't vote. So that means only 20% of the population voted for these bunch of fucking wankers. Go and have a look for yourself if you don't believe me. I believe most of the population can't stand the bloke, or can't stand Labour and the Conservatives because it's a uni party. Now, I've been saying since last year, the way to win against this lot by striking and doing things like that is to have a strike where you join with all the population. Lorry drivers, car drivers, everybody, the walkers, everybody just downs tools, all in the same day. Train drivers, everything, farmers. I tell you what, after a week, that would bring them to fucking heel. They'd have a shock. They would have such a shock in the system, but the people in charge of the farming are basically Labour in the unions, because it's a union. They're basically being run by sort of Labour parties anyway. They're matey. And they won't do that sort of thing. And every time the farming community has a protest and the public get involved, they're all fenced out. And that should tell you something. Oh, we don't want to be classed as right wing. It's not right wing to not want your industry destroyed by far left people. It's just right. We need to join with all the other organisations who are doing the same thing. This movement could be massive. Not stop other people. On the contrary, get them out in the same time. You remember, there's lots of people here that can't stand what Starmer's doing on his own side. And if they got a chance to remove him, they would. So, that's what I think anyway. But there's something happening next week. It'd be good if everybody could join in. But also, I wanted to talk about what would have happened in my father's day regarding this farming situation. Now, I can tell you one thing. When my father was younger and into his middle age, the world was a different place to what it is now. When I was in my young'un, if you had people running around the countryside in Wales, bullying us around, these so-called fucking groups of environmentalists, they'd have short shrift. For a start with, all these places would have been burnt to a cinder. And that is a fact. If you started fencing off common land in all these areas up here, and then trying to bully around the farmers who were hefted sheep on the hills, back then, all these places would have been burnt to the ground. All these areas would have been set fire to, all these trees would have been burnt up. And that is a fact. And that's only 50 years ago. They wouldn't have had it. They would not have had it. Now that is a fact about thing, and it's not being racist, it's not being, about this, that's what would have happened. Because what they've done is they've created an environment where everybody's scared to say anything about people and afraid to call them bad people because they're assumed to be right on and doing the right thing, but they're not. They're the fascists in disguise, these environmentalists, and they're getting their money from big business like BlackRock and these other people, and they don't give a toss for anybody. Now, hill rights, I'm just talking from my own personal knowledge. Common land rights, you're allowed to go up there, and whatever these schemes are now, the common land rights overrule all that. So if myself, for instance, we're in a group on a common, and if the other graziers decide to join some scheme that we don't want to go in, or I don't want to go in, I can simply pull out of it and fuck up the whole agreement. Because it's only an advisory agreement with these schemes, because common law supersedes that all, and that's a fact. So for instance, if the group that I'm a member of decided to cut our payment down to half, and then them take the other half, we could simply just pull out of the agreement altogether and they wouldn't get any money. Because that's what the law is, simple as that. Because you have rights as a commoner. And I know this is, where is there a commoner? It's a job for me to show you here now, but there is one on the top here. And National Trust and them people own it now, and they're right on as well. They're just trying to get money out of everything. And they do them well to remember that it doesn't take much to awaken the beast again. And 50 years ago, any of you people like that pushing your weight around against the farming community up on these hills here would have had the lot burnt down. There'd be hill fires all over this place. And your little conservation areas would be dust. Now that's what historically would have happened. So I'm not saying that now as it would happen, but that's what happens in these places. You push people far enough, and years back you wouldn't have even got your foot in the door. Now that's a reality of what would have happened. Now at the moment, the people in charge are, like I said, what did he say? I heard Jeremy Vile talking about this. He said what is the word? The weeds are running the place now because they're basically trying to take away masculinity. The people will stand up for him. Now, somebody like me who will speak his voice, what he thinks, they'll call you names or whatever, but I don't care. I just say what I think. And this wouldn't have happened 20 years ago because people have been dumbed down in university. That's why they want them all to go there. They want to make it, and the exception that you don't listen, you're being taught like an underling soldier to do what you're told. And if you say anything back, oh, you can't say that. That's what's been told. Now, Great Britain and the UK was made on people doing things that people said they couldn't be done. Our reputation, if somebody said we couldn't climb that mountain, we'd climb that mountain. If somebody said we couldn't do this, you do that. And let's be honest, we took no prisoners. And the That's what it takes to look after your country, I'm afraid. And I know people don't like Trump, but strong leaders make countries proud of themselves, and they're not afraid to speak about issues, which we are in the UK now. Lots of people are afraid to speak about these issues. Now, I firmly believe that if the population, like I said earlier in this video, 80% of who didn't vote Labour suddenly woke up and joined with the farming community and all striked or protested on the same day, they would not know how to deal with it in the UK. They'd be in utter panic and they'd realise they're nothing. Remember, 80% of the population didn't vote for Labour. They'd either have to remove Keir Starmer by the end of the week and put somebody else in, or they'd have to have a general election, because that many people marching on Parliament would it would destroy any legitimacy that they think they've got. You remember, 80% of 70 million. If you started having mass millions of people blocking the roads with cars and driving slow, blocking cities, they couldn't do a thing about it, because you're not breaking the law, you're just doing your lawful right to protest. And if it was in the millions, and I mean millions, if you could get that amount of people out, and it's possible now because he's hated that much, it would be incredible. So I think that is the way to go. It's obvious that they're not listening to the farming solution, and we all know that. I've said that from the start they wouldn't. So the way to do it is to join with other organisations, and you know what they say? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and that's what we should be. Join in with all other groups to remove this one person, and once that's done, go your separate ways again. Now personally, I'd call for another general election and have a vote for it in Parliament if there's anything about them, but they're too scared because they know they'd lose. So that's what I think. I haven't really swore much in this one either, have I? So that's what I think should happen. The 80% of the people in the UK could make this happen. Now, I haven't got the dates for sure, but next week is like a general strike day for 2 or 3 days, I think. So if everybody got their wits together, and farming unions as well, wake up to it. Wake up to it, or you'll be nothing left to even defend. There we are. Please comment, rate and subscribe, because as people realise, they nobble my channel all the time, and people don't understand how bad it is. I have comments being taken away all the time and likes taken away. People have no idea how bad it gets when they're really on your case, and I've got it on my case, but we won't stop because we're right. So all the best, and if you don't mind having a look, see if you want a hat or something like that, because lots of my videos get demonetized these days, so or a sticker or something. All right, all the best, guys.